You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
Screw your freedom.
Wow, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. Having a little bit of technical difficulties here at Uman's shop. I snuck back in when he wasn't looking, caught a Greyhound bus up here. No, I escaped from the bunker. Anyways, I'm here, and of course, I wanted to let everyone know that Jim made it safely back from the RMZ. We're all back here in the good old US of A, and once again, live at Uman's shop. I hope everyone has had a good weekend. It has hit the fan, folks. We're not anywhere close to being done, and we're going to get to what you want to talk about, because on Sunday Night Live, what do we talk about? Well, we talk about what you want to talk about. Down here, you've got the instructions, how to get your question read. There's a super chat button up here. You hit that super chat button, folks, I'll make you famous. You bet. If you've got a topic you want to discuss, if you've got an opinion you want to share, if you have a statement you want to make, bring it on. That is what is your chance. We've got Patreon, the Patreon crowd here from Prepared Mind. We've got the YouTube crowd here, and we're all together, and we call it the zoo, folks. Sunday Night Live is the zoo, and we've got you in mind. I've got a bunch of topics here, and I've already got a PayPal super chat donation ready to go. But I want to caution everybody, folks. The context of this show is satire. It's cynicism. It's humor. So if you don't like that stuff, there's the door, right? Or you can go out the roll-up door out back into the 0-degree weather we got rolling here. Crazy stuff. I hope you're staying warm. I hope you are prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and a plan. I hope you've got it all together, folks, because you're going to need it. I got reports today. Empty store shelves in certain areas of the country. Some of them aren't all the way empty. Some of them are only 80% cleared out. Meaning, yeah, there's still 20% left. Some politician, some doddering old fool gave us some advice and said, only take what you need, folks. Does that sound like something that is said in a country that has plenty of material, plenty of supplies to go around? Or does that sound like a government that's trying to keep you from panicking because of what they are doing? Well, I've got my opinion. What is your opinion? We got Jolene in charge. Just a couple chairs over, we got Uman in charge. I'm going to be talking to him in a little bit. I've got some, man, see if you can, R2, see if you can boost the power. I don't know what's wrong with my computer, or if it is literally, if it's the internet, if it is being slowed up, if it's being dicked with. Let's do this. Let's start off with a super chat donation coming out of Darcy. And again, every week Darcy checks in with a super chat donation and kicks off the show with a great comment, question, suggestion, point. And she says this, good evening, John. I have a hard time believing that the self-proclaimed world leaders would back off on their Jim Jones juice assault campaign. What do you suppose is really up their sleeves? Darcy, once again, nail on the head, right out the gate. Pow! Yeah, I don't trust them either. It started with Boris Johnson in the United Kingdom. And he was like, okay, sometime, it's either February, the end of February, or maybe March. that they're going, okay, in England at that point, we're going to have no more mandates, no more lockdowns, no more masks, no more social distancing. All businesses can open 100%, no more anything. Well, Boris Johnson is kind of under the microscope. He's getting yelled at. He's worried he's going to get his ass thrown out of office. The system in the United Kingdom, the political system there, is different here than the U.S., the way the government operates. It's similar, but different. So this happened, and I thought, if it's not doing any good, and if he can, as he said, trust the British people to make the right decisions, if that's the case, if we can trust them to make the right decisions in a month or a month and a half, then we can trust them to make the right decisions today. We don't need to wait 1 or 2 freaking months. Unbelievable. So I'm like immediately suspicious because of that. Well, I'm glad that they're saying we need to get rid of him. And so this is how I thought about Boris. I thought, okay, he's covering his own ass, right, Darcy? He's covering his back, trying to get the pressure off of him, make the people happy, raise his approval rating from the toilet. Could it be a signal? Hey, we are done with this. 2 months. In 2 months, the rest of the world better join us, right? Because we're having problems. 2 months. Every other country can decide for themselves. It's time to start backing off. Well, Ireland has essentially joined England. I believe it was the Czech Republic also. There are other countries that were like, we never had any problem with this at all. I think that was like Sweden. Sweden's got its own problems, and I'll never let Sweden off the... I just never back off of Sweden for being so stupid and becoming socialists. My own people, for Pete's sake. All right, anyways, I won't bang on the Swedes too hard, idiots. I guess if I wasn't Swedish, that would be racist. Anyways, let us, there's another group of people out there who have never had any problems at all, folks, with cerveza bug. The Amish, they didn't have any problems. And when asked why they don't have any problems, hey, we don't have any TVs. And it's a joke, right? Yeah, they don't have any problem, but they didn't know they're supposed to be sick. They don't care what anyone else says. They live their lives the way they wish to live. And so they didn't feel a bump, a hump. They didn't feel it. There was no bang. There was nothing, right? They were just like, yeah, okay, maybe someone got sick. Who cares? Give them some NyQuil, put them back to work in the fields. Good stuff. Good stuff. Anyways, Darcy, I don't believe, as you say, that they're going to back off on their Jim Jones Jews. It's hard to believe. I mean, so the one hand, yeah, they could be saying we're done and we're putting out notice. Everyone else, back off, wake up, smell the coffee, and let the people alone. That could be what's going on, or it's a freaking trick, right? And I vote more on the side of it is a trick. Boris Johnson just needs higher approval numbers. And then, kapow, right? They're going to slap him. Oh my God, something terrible happened. We now have the X-ray variant, right? Oh my gosh, we have the, think of the worst sounding word. Oh, the Alpha Omega zombie apocalypse variant. We're all dying now. They could do that. But I've talked about how they, oh, by the way, if you'll notice all of the fine selection of alcoholic beverages that Uman had on his bar there. Thanks, Oliver. Thanks, man. Way to tease everybody. Every time they try and scare us, they push for 2 steps, have to take a step back, act like everything's cool, then take 2 more steps, take 1 step back, and then take 2 more steps, you see, to get further and further into this tyranny. At the same time, every time they try scaring people, folks, well, first time they scare everyone into the sheep pen. They let off and everyone comes back out, and some other sheep go, oh, no, we liked it in there. Every time they come up with a new wave, a new tsunami wave, a new crash, right? A new variant, a new outbreak. Every time they've done that for 2 freaking years, they've really maxed out the number of people willing to get in that sheep pen and stay there. In fact, they're starting to lose people out of the sheep pen. They had like 60% of the population believing cerveza bug is real. It's something that they really need to worry about. We know it's real, folks. We know people die from diseases all the time. Heart attacks, strokes. We know that people get diabetes, that they're obese. We know these things. We know people get cancer, as well as cerveza bug and other flus and colds. We know people die from tuberculosis. We know this stuff, right? But you can't blame everything on what the sheep are afraid of. Can't blame it on, can't do it. Wouldn't be prudent. Anyways, here we are. Here we are. They're trying to scare us, and it's not working, and the resentment is growing and growing. They could have gone past, they're traveling along, and they may have gotten to peak cerveza, and now it's going to start sliding down. The tyrants won't stop their assault campaign. Dr. Drippy Faucet, that little twerp, has not given up, Darcy. No, he hasn't. I'm going to talk about him here in a little bit, but it is, as we've said, it's your guys' show. And so I want to cover what you have to say first, but in response to what you had to say, I'm going to talk about the little drip here in just a few minutes. But for now, we got Frankie Rios with a $5 super chat donation. And he said, they begun voluntary rationing in DC. Hope all are well and ready. I love the term voluntary rationing. Now, when you go into a store and they're rationing, another word could be portioning, but it's always been rationing. They've got 1,000 pounds of hamburger. And so customers are only allowed to buy 1 pound of hamburger a day. That is a form of rationing. So someone doesn't come in and buy 50 pounds and the next person buys 50 pounds. Right. The other day, John Lord got me 12 pounds of hamburger. It was great. Went to the store and picked it up. They're like, hey, you must have a hell of a good friend there, Mr. Lord. I was like, you bet I do. Anyways, they didn't go, hey, are you stockpiling that hamburger? 12 pounds seems like a lot for one white guy. Anyways, yeah, it's voluntary rationing. In other words, they're cautioning people. What better way to scare idiots than to say, everything's cool, everything's fine, we're not going to run out, but please only take a little bit, right? It's like telling your kids, there's a plate of cookies in the kitchen. You're never going to have another cookie again in your life, so only take one, and let's make that plate of cookies last. Freaking kids will go in there and grab all the cookies at once. Rah, rah, rah. Last will be our last cookie. Oh, it's coming, folks. It's coming. Rationing. I mean, okay, back when cerveza bug first started and people went to Costco and Sam's Club and Walmart and the mom and pop stores and everywhere, and they bought all of the toilet paper, then the paper towels, they bought all of the everything they could, bottled water, right? And they wiped out a lot of shelves. But prior to that hadn't happened since World War II. Since before World War II, folks, rationing, shortages. There's really no reason we should have shortages. Anyways, Heidi checks in. Heidi with a super chat donation, $50. And she says, keep on keeping on. Happy birthday. Well, that's right. The Prepared Mind boys had our birthday. Is it next week or was it last week? Anyways, let's keep that top secret. All of us, if you add, we're all good. Thank you so much, Heidi. You are sweet. Be careful, be prepared, and be warm in the Great White North. Moving on, we got Blood or Water checking in with a $5 super chat donation. And he says, you want the meow? You can't handle the meow. Right, meow? Not sure how to spell motorcycle sounds. You can't handle the meow. Very good. I appreciate the humor. Folks, with everything going on, we better have a sense of humor. We just better have. Okay. I had Aaron just send me a text message. Don't send text messages during the show. Alrighty. And then doing stuff with Nikki. Of course, we're all laughing our asses off. Folks, get this. This is incredible. The question, the comment about what are these people going to do? The Jim Jones juice tyrants, are they going to back off? We've got some interesting things. Yeah, Boris Johnson did. Ireland did. The Czech Republic did. The Netherlands are going the other way. Austria and Italy are going towards stupidity. Up in Sweden, they still don't know whether they're coming or going. In the United States of America, a lot of people are just going crazy. Uh-oh, I just got to laugh. Okay. Unicorns. Okay. These tyrants don't know what to do, folks. It's comical, but it is also incredible. They've got this nefarious plan to destroy the world, but they can't make up their effing mind what to do and how to do it. And so they run this way, then they tell us everything's fine, then they tell us to be scared. But get this, Dr. Drippy Faucet goes on ABC's This Week. I mean, what a beautiful name for a show. Massive mainstream media news source. ABC, the American Broadcasting Corporation. They're so creative, so brilliant. The name of their show is This Week. Well, they have Dr. Faucet, Dr. Doom, the little shit stain himself, and he says this. We may need to boost again. That's entirely conceivable. It's entirely conceivable that we have to boost again. Well, of course we can, right? And of course we should. We should have guessed he would said this. Oh, wait, yeah, we did. We know that he won't back off. This is your life, Dr. Fauci. The whole world, all 8 billion of us, are worshiping you, wondering what you're going to do next. Can we guess? What a little turd. Unbelievable. There we go. Some days I have so many ways for people to contact. It just works. So let's do this. Let's get back into it. Super chat donations. Folks, we're already at 582 people live. That's more than the President of the United States gets on his YouTube channel. Did you know that? Unbelievable, folks. Oh, we got T96 checking in with a super chat donation of $1.99. He says this: Russia is about to whoop USA silly. So that's where you want to go with that, huh? All right, T96. I'm following you there. Anyways, hey, whose opinion's correct about Russia and China? Who's going to whip whose ass? Well, Germany right now. And Germany, remember, Germany used to be split into 2 Germanys, right? East Germany was controlled by the Soviets and the communists, and Western Germany was allied with England and France and the United States and NATO. And then they reunified it when the Soviet Union collapsed. Germany right now, I mean, they're very close to the Russians. In fact, they depend on the Russians to provide energy, gas, oil, necessary materials. In fact, I got some more information that you're just going to love to hear about Russia and the United States. But get this, Germany is seeing right now a political earthquake with regard to their military in Russia. Their Navy chief has resigned, saying, quote, Putin deserves respect. He also said that China is, quote, not a nice country. Yeah, no shit, buddy. But to say that Putin deserves respect. But first, folks, he resigned. The Navy chief resigned. He's like, you know what? I don't want this job. You people are being idiots. When you resign from your job, it's like telling your boss, vote of no confidence, you guys are idiots. So the Navy chief is like, done with you. And Putin, president of Russia, deserves respect. That can be cut a lot of different ways, folks. In what way does Putin deserve respect? His military? Well, yeah, he's got hypersonic military technology, missiles that travel so fast, folks. They travel faster than bullets, literally. They travel so fast they cannot be seen. And they can be pinpoint targeted, right? Put a missile right in a flea's ass. It's very dangerous, very effective technology. But, so, should we respect Putin and Russia's military, or should we respect Putin's political strategy and his ability to make his opponents look freaking stupid? Well, like you did with John F. Kerry and Obama, I think it's a little bit of everything. It doesn't mean you have to like him. It doesn't mean you're in his pocket and he's the puppet master. It just means you respect your adversary, your opponent. He should be respected. And I think he's being treated very cavalierly by some in the West. We could very well end up with war. And I know that would benefit the military-industrial complex and the bankers, folks. Remember this. When a war happens, military-industrial complex suppliers borrow money from banks to build their weapons. And then they sell their overpriced weapons to the government, right, who borrows money to buy the weapons from the weapons makers and then launch them over there, the weapons, and use our sisters, brothers, sons, and daughters to deploy the weapons and fight war and die. So the defense contractors, military-industrial complex, and the bankers, they all make their money. They don't mind war in that regard. Scary stuff, folks. Whose opinion is correct? Well, the Navy chief of Germany says, you know what? I'm out of here, and Putin deserves respect. Crazy business. We got We the People checking in with a $4.99 super chat donation. And what he has to say is this. Hell of an anti-mandate rally today in D.C. Bobby Kennedy sounded pretty good. Bobby Kennedy Jr., that is, folks. And I want to talk about this one, too. Again, you guys are right on target. Woo! I mean, what do we have to say about this? Folks, 20,000 Americans, according to some news sources, 20,000 Americans marched on Washington, D.C. against the mandates and against medical tyranny. Top voices, top authorities, top experts who are against cerveza bug stupidity include Robert or Bobby Kennedy Jr., Dr. Paul Alexander, Dr. Robert Malone, Dr. Peter McCullough, Lara Logan, Steve Kirsch, and many, many, many others, right? Incredible, folks. There were regular people there. There were firefighters there. There were doctors there. There were first responders there. There were patriots there. There were everybody, folks. It was Americans. People who have had enough of this garbage. So it was great that they had that rally in D.C. Hey, guess what? I guess it wasn't an insurrection, huh? We better be careful, though, folks. We better be careful. These people are serious. They could be referring all the way back to Darcy's comment or question about, I don't trust these tyrants who to give up their Jim Jones juice. While doing that, they've created a slew of financial, economic, and infrastructure problems as a consequence of their cerveza bug lockdowns, mandates, and strategies. When it comes to workers wanting to work in food production plants, they're falling behind, saying, yeah, we just can't do it. And they're like, yeah, we don't give a shit. People that make food. We've got truckers going, this is messed up, right? Biden's bare shelves, folks, or bare shelves Biden's, right? That's one of the new nicknames he has, right? He has banned truckers who have refused the Jim Jones juice he has banned them from coming into the country from Mexico and from Canada. So they won't accept our truckers unless they have been fully vaxxed. And same with coming the other way. You think this is gonna make things better? No, it's not. They've screwed up shipping, they've screwed up manufacturing, they've screwed up food production, they've screwed up the ports. It's like for centuries, folks. And certainly in the high-tech modern world of industrial production and distribution, the port system worked just fine until Cerveza bug, and all of a sudden the unions can't manage to unload ships, to work the dockyards, to load containers onto trucks and then truck them out. All of a sudden they can't get it right. All of a sudden they forgot. What part is stupid, folks? Anyways, super chat donation, super chat button. You want to be famous, or if you want to be anonymous, it's up to you. Get your super chat donation in. That, hey, folks, that keeps us here. Right now, I'm in the shop with Uman, and hold off on Dior's there, please, Jolene, if you would. I'm in the shop with Uman, but I'm heading back to the bunker tomorrow morning. This week is going to get loud and nasty. And I do want to thank Jolene especially for doing such a great job. Everyone, folks, in my family, my world, Jolene's family, all of us. I mean, I get texts and emails all the time about people who are having a hard time getting through life. And I want to thank you for supporting us, for supporting the channel, the network. I want to thank you for supporting one another, for talking to one another, for helping one another, and everything else. So, here I am. There you are. It's 2022, and shit has hit the fan. And I want to say hey and say thank you to Uman one more time as well. And
evening, everybody.
There he is. What's up, man?
Hey, man. Got a surprise. You show up here twice in 1 week, man. That's awesome.
Well, I had to surprise you. I wanted to remind everyone, one, thank you for doing such a good job of sharing videos, sending out the link, and helping. And I want to thank Uman for using the blue wrench to keep things calm and peaceful. And I want to hand it back to you there, brother. There you go. You got it. The blue wrench.
I will yield this wrench with great responsibility.
With great wrenches come great responsibilities. But you guys out there, whether it's Patreon or YouTube, have done a great job. When you get out of line, we need to make sure the rules are upheld. And anyways, thank you very much, man.
Speaking of blue wrenches, I just got a bot alert, so let me just hide this quick. Okay, and they're gone.
Okay, yeah, the government and what other tech companies are using these bots to try and invade, huh?
Yep. Yeah, it's been really bad the last couple weeks.
Well, there it is. Anyways, I've noticed, back here some alcohol. Have you got something? I need a drink, man.
Hey, we got some unfinished business to take care of.
Okay, well,
I forgot to bring this with me when I came down south last month, but a while back, Texas Ted sent me this awesome bottle of whiskey here with a silver bullet.
Okay,
and,
nice.
I promised them that we would. I promised them we'd save it for a special occasion and have a special toast. So I figured, since I got you here again, I'm not going to forget it again, and we could do that right now.
Let's do it, man.
And you will get the always famous "There Comes a Time" glass. You got the ice over there, right?
Well, I was thinking of going with the ice, but bottoms up. Yep, there comes a time when a man must spit in his hands, hoist the black flag, and begin to slit throats. Prost, salut, semper fi.
Prost.
Oh, that's smooth. I'll just sip on that during the show, and
one other thing.
Oh, what is it?
This whole Duluth Carhartt controversy going on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I took my son. He got a new construction job, and I took him to get some clothes on Friday. We're at Duluth, and I found this and immediately thought of you.
All right. There it is, folks. The what is that? Tougher than an angry beaver. Tougher than a giant angry beaver. That's good stuff.
I thought you'd get a kick out of that, man. So
thank you very much. Drink, angry beaver. What more could a guy want?
Cheers,
Maybe
brother.
Cheers, brother. Yeah, a happy beaver, a happy hoo-ha is a good hoo-ha. So to all beavers out there, may your hoo-ha feel good. All right. Thank you again, Uman. Let's get back to it. Really, brother, thank you so much for all you do for me.
Anytime.
And for everyone else out there, thanks, man. All right, we'll take Uman back off camera there and then get back to you guys. Technology, isn't it wonderful? We can have as many people on here as we want. Well, I think up to 10, which reminds me, I think we're going to have Rudy, the urban Aboriginal. He said, hey, John, why don't we have a sit down and some talks? And so I may have him on as a guest on the show in the next week or two. And it'll be a surprise. I'm sure we'll just decide one morning or something like that it's a good idea. But yeah, it's technology is wonderful. Whether I'm right next to somebody or whether they're across the country or around the world, we can just bring them right on. I haven't done a lot of interviews in a long time, basically because, well, it didn't seem to help much. I don't know. Oh, that's right. I did leave for the RMZ. And anyways, welcome back. Let's get to this. It looks like Diorce had something to say. Thank you, Jolene, for being so patient with us. Diorce, I'm glad you're feeling better, man. Rock on, Semper Fi. He says, 12 gauge double-aught buck. He says, I survived the Sniffles 19. God bless you, man. Diorce was pretty banged up over it, folks. It's the real deal. And, welcome back. You never left. Everyone, prayers, thank yous, well wishes for Diorce paid off. This is what he had to say. He says, I almost died last December because the UC Health Hospital refused to give me the alternative treatment. I was on a ventilator for over a month. That is incredible. Let's see. The alternative treatment. Well, folks, when my horse doesn't feel good, I like to give it horse dewormer, right? Diorce, I'm glad you made it. I can't imagine how terrible that must have been. I'm glad you made it through to the other side. I've known several people that have had, and this is just in the last 2 weeks, several people who have had cerveza bug, the unicorn variant, and some have felt moderately bad. Others have felt, crappy. Some have felt really crappy. And everyone who has taken the alternative treatment has reported near instant success and recovery. It's interesting. And I'm really sorry, Diorce, that they refuse to give you what you requested for your own health. That is a continuing battle, Darcy, in this Jim Jones juice scenario. There are entire provinces or states within the huge nation of India. India has over 1 billion people, folks. China has over 1 billion people. India is like a fourth or a fifth of the size of China. It's a very populated, very dense country, right? Full of people. And so you would think that super spreading would be common. Well, it was. And several areas, folks, said, we're going to go with an alternative treatment and eradicated all signs of illness. You know, it's incredible. It's incredible, right? Super spreaders. Well, we're still having the problem here in this country. There are other countries, folks, other areas of the world that are giving up on the Jim Jones juice narrative, the cerveza bug madness. But here in America, they don't want to let it go. Australia is far ahead of America, but America really is the country that needs to be subdued under this radical, hysterical, medical nightmare. So evidence of this, that America, they're really pushing it. Well, a self-proclaimed Karen, right, goes berserko, nutso, psycho. She stalked maskless shoppers around a store and was screaming at them, "You super spreaders, you voted for Trump, didn't you?" They have politicized this. They are reckless in what they're doing. It is incredible. These same people, folks, have a mask with a hole in it so they can put food through it, and then they believe that's going to help them. These same people will take Jim Jones juice 5 times in a row, 4 times, 3 times, as many times as they can, and then still wonder, you know, why no one else will do exactly what they do. Is they get, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. It's not stopping anything. It's not curing anything, but they're continuing to take action and then yell at us for refusing to be as fucking stupid as they are. Unbelievable. You super spreaders, you voted for Trump. Really? Sorry about that, man. Folks, this week is just gonna kick off huge. It's gonna kick off huge. Get your super chat donations in. You guys, your support for this channel keeps the lights on at the bunker, keeps the spam in the fridge, everything good. I want to thank you for it. We've got Orlando checking in with another $10 super chat donation. Thank you, Orlando. He says, there comes a time when every American fights for what they believe in. Now is the time. Semper Fi, John. Semper Fi to you, Orlando. That is just good. There is going to come a time for all of us, wherever you're at in the country, to stand up and say no more. Is it your time now? Was it your time yesterday and you did it? Is it your time now? Will you have to stand up next week and say no more? Done. That time is coming, folks. I think that is what we are in for at this point. It is coming. Are you prepared, though? Right? They're shutting down the food supplies very slowly. They're shutting down other supplies. Auto mechanics are still having a horrendous time getting parts. Manufacturers are having a hard time getting materials. I know 2 separate manufacturers that are having a hard time, or prices have gone through the roof. People are on edge. People are scared. They don't know what to do. Well, number 1, get prepared. Number 2, prep to action. Get prepared. Make sure you have a couple months of food. Make sure you have self-defense. And then take action. Call your senators, your representatives at the state and federal level. Do something, right? But this is what happens when the information that's out there gets to someone who has a lot of power and no desire to use that power for good. Jen Psaki, that's right, the mouthpiece for the Biden administration. Basically, she is the Biden administration. Jen Psaki speaks for the powers that be in Washington, D.C. And this is what she said before the weekend, folks, to get everyone through the weekend. Jen Psaki said, quote, "My advice to everyone out there who's frustrated, sad, angry, pissed off, go have a margarita." So Joe loves to spend time either at Camp David or down at his place in Delaware. I'm sure he's having a few margaritas, really. So the White House, right? The Biden administration, totally. Jen Peppermint Biatch Psaki says, consume alcoholic beverages to deal with your problems. Really, that's the answer? We need to consume alcoholic beverages, Jen Psaki? Folks, don't ask the White House to fix any problems. Well, it created and exacerbated these problems, but don't expect them to fix them. And folks, everyone, the word everyone is a word that includes the old, geriatrics, people who work, and the word everyone also includes children. So Biden, Psaki, and Washington, D.C. encourage children to drink alcohol because everyone includes children. My advice to everyone out there who's frustrated, sad, angry, pissed off, go have a margarita. That's what the White House says. Folks, I'm not the White House, and I'm not telling children to drink alcohol or a margarita or anything. But this is their answer. Go have a margarita. You're pissed off because they didn't get their voter sham bill passed. People are sad, angry, pissed off, frustrated. How about people who are scared, intimidated, frightened out of their pants because of what government has been doing and continues to do? It's incredible. Right? So Jen Psaki knows that people are pissed because they didn't get their voter transformation bill. Unbelievable, folks. Before we get to the next thing, let's get to the next thing, and that is Boru checking in with a $20 super chat donation. And Boru says this. He says, the fourth jabber has to wake up the dipsticks, right? I am honestly walking in my small town of 3,000, laughing in the faces of people that know me very well. It's really getting fun, right? I live in Gay Town. I don't, man, Boru, I don't know which gay town you're talking about. When I grew up, all right, it seemed like the homosexual joke capital was San Francisco. Now it's everywhere. Anyways, that could be DC, could be Miami. I don't know. Anyways, the fourth jabber has to wake up the dipsticks. This is crazy. Yeah, in Israel, folks, they're going with 4. Dr. Drippy Faucet says, well, we may have to do 4. Unbelievable. I'm glad you're actually walking around and laughing in people's faces. Not because I want people embarrassed, but because I think they need it. Right? I can't tell you how many times as a kid I did something stupid. I made an obvious mistake or blunder. I wasn't thinking, and goofed up. And your parents are usually, when you're a kid, right there to laugh at you, to help you understand what went wrong so you can learn from it. If no one tells these idiots that they're doing something wrong, they're not going to know they're doing something wrong. Right? Well, Dr. Faucet, the mainstream media, local government is out there saying, yeah, blast yourselves with boosters, right? Get your cerveza bug. Get it now. Unbelievable. Boru, thank you for the great donation. I love it. Keep it up. But folks, I mean, really, Bill Maher, left-wing socialist dipshit. I think he's on like his 20th year on HBO. He has now gone off. He went crazy, not for the Jim Jones juice, but against it. And the medical establishment and all of the experimental cocktails. He says, quote, I'm over cerveza bug. What the fuck is the use of boosters? Basically pointing out that all the things we know. Now, it's interesting that Bill Maher, a leftist, is continuing to be critical. I can't be critical. All I can do is be satirical. But yeah, folks, even leftists who are out there, Bill Maher is not he's not as big as the Tonight Show, but he does have an audience, right? They should be waking up and realizing any time now, that the more they take of this garbage and the more it doesn't help, they should begin to recognize that there's a problem here, that it's not doing any good, that they might actually be damaging themselves. At some point, they should learn. Just like when you screw up, right? And your parents kind of laughed, pointed out how you were doing things wrong, and you eventually figure it out, right? It shouldn't be that hard. But people really are, folks. People really are scared. A lot of people out there have been legitimately scared and legitimately threatened with their jobs. Maybe Bill Mayer knows that he may not get the placebo. He may get something really nasty. And I believe he said there's no effing way he is going to take the Jim Jones booster. He will never, I believe, take the Jim Jones booster. Very interesting statement. So on the one hand, we have a big degree of the population saying no, never, and also not anymore. And like those in the Netherlands said, their favorite word is regret over the Jim Jones juice. And hopefully Remy is in the house, and hopefully Remy can let us know what the hell is going on in the Netherlands this week. The Netherlands is another hotbed of globalist agenda playing out. What an incredible year, 2022, and we're still in January. And thank you, Bill Mayer, for being honest and intelligent and rightly so concerned about himself. Says, I'm over Cerveza-bug. What the fuck is the use of boosters? Yeah, we a lot of us are asking, what is the use of them? It's not doing any good. None at all. Thank you very much on that, Vaughn. I appreciate it. Very good. Let's see. Oh my gosh. We got T96 back in with another $2 super chat donation. He says, maybe the illegals are going to persecute the jab mark. What? Maybe the illegals are going to persecute the jab mark. I don't know what that means. Jab mark? Walmart? Doggone it, I hate it when I don't understand what is being sent to me. Unbelievable. We got Escape with Jay checking in with a $5 super chat donation. He says, here is $5 to make Uman famous. Oh, it's funny. Uman was telling me earlier, he was telling me a story how Nikki's telling all of her subscribers what a great guy he is. And he's like, well, my reputation over here is that I'm a jerk for keeping, order. Remember, folks, social media, big tech, they don't want us talking about these topics. They want us to all be scared. We're not allowed to talk about alternative medications and alternative treatments because they don't want us to have them. They want us to follow their story and live in fear. Well, get this, folks, over in England, jolly old England, the home of Stephen Conlon. They were smuggling in, get this, they smuggled horse dewormer in chocolate bars. That's right, folks. They used a chocolate bar to smuggle in horse dewormer, and it saved a British person's life from Cerveza-bug. That was covered by Natural News. Folks, there's real authorities out there. There's people who know medicine inside and out, upside and down, left and right. They know everything. Me and you, we're just little people. I mean, we haven't really figured this out, have we? Or have we? If you've got something to say, if you have a question, if you have a comment, get your super chat in, folks, and we will discuss it. All right. We've got Alan Griffiths checking in with a $10. Is that $10 Australian? $10 $10 what any country with A. It's funny, folks. This is an international show, in case you didn't know. It's not just the U.S. It's Europe. It's South America. It's Australia. It's Asia. It's Russia. It's Kyrgyzstan. Everywhere around the world. Alan Griffiths, thank you for the $10 super chat donation. And he says, thanks, John. You bet, man. Folks, everywhere. Help people wake up. Help them realize what's going on. And we got Blood or Water is back with another super chat donation, $5 super chat donation. He says, "What Peabody Biden with Peabody Biden comes a great burden. I mean, Biden. Who is Biden, folks? Biden has been this incredible parasite. Is that what the P on Peabody Biden is? He's been a huge parasite on the political system. He has used racial slurs throughout his political career. He's acted, as many Democrats have been, elitist, belonging to white-only clubs. He put down people of color throughout all of his campaigns, and especially this one. I mean, was it Biden who said that Barack Obama was a clean, articulate black guy? I mean, do you have to point out that he's black? It's incredible. There's a huge burden that comes with everything that's being done. And it's nice when you look at what is being done and say that is very productive and we're going to have abundance. And you talk about the upside. But with the Democrats, all we get is burdens. Social burdens, financial burdens, psychological burden. Everything is a burden with these left. Anyways, thank you very much, Butterwater. Wow. Now, this occurred over the weekend. I've been talking about Patriot Front, this group who showed up in December and then again here in January. They're back again. They're back again, and they tried basically hijacking a March for Life parade in Washington, D.C. Now, the thing with it is it's really come up that this is not the same group of people that has been out twice already. And this has been run through a bunch of other people who have looked at this and studied it. The khaki-clad, uniform-wearing Patriot Front, whose propaganda looks a whole lot like communist propaganda. They released some of their private club footage. And interestingly, it's not the same people. It's pretty interesting, folks. There are a couple different groups that are involved in this. When the original two Patriot Fronts came out, everyone looked young and slender, under like age 30. They all had military bearing, appearance. They were organized and trained, and now they're showing us information claiming the Patriot Front are a bunch of people who come in all shapes and sizes. And nothing against people with the pear shape, but Patriot Front before did not come out with the pear shape. They were all straight, right? They were all skinny, in shape. Now they're trying to say that this is it's a group of just regular people. So now there's two Patriot Front groups, folks. One is these paramilitary looking and acting agent provocateur type, appearing to be government style people who show up not having having their license plates covered and not being ticketed for it. And then you have this other group of bearded, unbearded, a little bit light in the loafers looking, if you know what I'm saying, a bunch of left-wing Antifa type looking ones. What group are they? Who are they really? Who is Patriot Front, folks? Are they neo-Nazis, or are they Antifa pretending to be neo-Nazi looking types? It's almost like there's a false flag on top of their false flag. We need to be very careful and very aware. Very careful and very aware with what is going on. We are 1 hour into the show. Typically, we do a 2-hour live, Sunday Night Live. This is your chance, folks. Your chance to step up, ask questions, direct the show. There's information out there that is incredible. I do my best. I get information all day long, every day. long into the night, early in the morning, if I don't turn my beeper off, right? Phone buzzes, phone beeps all the time. We try and keep up. That's my job. But there are things, folks, some things I don't want to talk about until I see what you write, something that you say, and it triggers a new thought, a new idea. So I count on you guys for just such a thing. It's incredible. We got Tamiko Gomina checking in with a $10 super chat donation. And this is what she says. I'm loving my 3 limited edition t-shirts. They catch the eye of the like-minded here. And what she's talking about is Tamika kind of went off the hook and ordered 3 Prepared Mind limited edition fuck around and find out Kyle Rittenhouse shirts. I'm glad you like them, Tamika. I'm glad we were able to get to you. I think it was reported to me that the sizes were close or right on to what you were asking for. Very interesting. We were able to do that, really guessing what the crowd wanted out there with regard to color, size, etc. But they do make a strong impression. The F around and find out, the fuck around and find out, the Kyle Rittenhouse Prepared Mind shirt. Question is, do we want to do another limited edition, politically motivated Prepared Mind shirt? I don't know. I mean, I've got a few design ideas in the old noodle. It took quite a bit of work, coordinating that with a number of people, and then having Uman and others pick them up and deliver them. But let's look into that. You guys let us know. Let Jolene know. Let Uman know. Talk amongst yourselves. Do we want to do another limited edition shirt? He said I had a lot of fun with it. And wow. Oh, by the way, Oliver, that whiskey here is terrific. Okay. So it has hit the fan. We're in 2022. The cerveza bug narrative is failing. People are sick and tired of it. On the other hand, those people that are suffering from Stockholm Syndrome, they have been sequestered, held hostage in their house, not by someone demanding ransom or some terrorist demanding their leader be released, but rather these Stockholm Syndrome victims are being held against their will, and the price they have to pay for freedom is obedience to their hostage takers' demands. And so they're saying, we'll do anything you want, just let us go. And so their hostage taker, Dr. Fauci, says, well, you must do this. And so the hostages who are suffering from this syndrome, the left-wing lunatic, weak-minded, spineless weenies, say, okay, we'll go out and we'll get the Jim Jones juice. Oh, we'll go out and get 2 of them. Oh, we'll go out and get 2 Jim Jones juices and a booster. Oh, and you want us to treat other people like shit. You want us to convince our neighbors. You want to put pressure on. Oh, you want businesses to threaten to take people's jobs. You want businesses to fire people. So everyone who is suffering from this Stockholm Syndrome, whether they're very small, normal humans, or whether they're supervisors and managers, or even the owners of corporations, they're trying to make this hostage taker in chief, Dr. Fauci, they're trying to please him the way people who have been taken hostage try and please their captors. They'll do anything to make them happy. This is the Stockholm Syndrome. They'll do anything to make them happy. They'll do anything to please them. They start to sympathize with their captors, right? They start to believe that their cause is real, that their cause is worth serving. Isn't that incredible, folks? Can you imagine being taken hostage by, let's say, a radical terrorist out of the Middle East? And after a couple of days, then a couple of weeks, you start to sympathize with their plight. You've heard about it enough from them. Oh, we believe this. And you hostages, you're part of the problem. They start to believe it. Then they start to support them. Then they really care. In fact, after a while, in some cases, people who have been held hostage, sufferers of Stockholm Syndrome, right? They go another step, folks. They actually refuse to leave. If they're told you're free to go, they don't want to go. They want to remain in that position of captivity. They come to rely on those harsh rules and those demands and those threats of punishment. Folks, look up Stockholm Syndrome in your computer. Google it, Yahoo it, DuckDuckGo it, Stockholm Syndrome. And then think about the medical establishment. Think about Dr. Fauci, the little drip. Think about it. How similar is this phenomena? The whole world held hostage. The whole world told you're going to die. The whole world told you have to pay a price. You have to sacrifice. You have to obey. You have to believe. You're not allowed to talk back, right? If you talk back to a hostage taker, bam, they bitch slap you, right? You talk back to a hostage taker today through social media, they shut you down. They bitch slap you by pow, suspending or canceling your Facebook, your Instagram, right? Your Twitter. Unbelievable where this goes, folks. Unbelievable. We got Bonnie Blue checking in with a $19.99 super chat donation. And Bonnie Blue, thank you for all of the great work you do behind the scenes. I know I thank Ooman. Thanks, Ooman. I know I thank Jolene. Thanks, Jolene. Many of you out there, like Mr. T, seem to do relatively huge amounts of work, and it's almost thankless, right? Because the show, it's created, the information comes out, and then it goes to the library, and it's stored on BitChute, it's stored in YouTube, it's stored in Patreon, and you don't hear about it again, right? There's no accolades for any of us. But I want to tell you right now, Bonnie, you and others that are here every single day, concerned, assisting, helping, sharing, you're making a difference. The subscriber count here, it doesn't reflect it because we're being shadow banned. YouTube is taking down at this moment more people than are subscribing. If you believe that, we went from 70,000 to over 80,000 subscribers, over 81,000 subscribers in, I think it was like a month and a half back in August, last August, just a few months ago. And we grew 10,000. All of a sudden, it's going the other way. Makes no sense. You're doing your jobs out there, folks. Keep doing it. Helping one another, supporting the channel, supporting each other, and then reaching out and sharing. That is how we truly grow, is by letting people we know, whether they're friends or family, loved ones of any sort, they have a chance to learn and grow through the work that you do. And that's why I want to thank you for the work that you do, which is seemingly unthankful. But I am very thankful and grateful for all you do as far as providing information, sharing stuff, etc. So Bonnie says this: we already saw Gigi, Biden, and Harris and Milley military disaster in Afghanistan. Do we want to see them get more Americans killed defending Ukraine's border when they refuse to secure our own border? This is an awfully awful question, but only in the senses that it demonstrates the abject incompetence of the White House administration and the Pentagon. Let's start with the American border. It is wide open, and Biden and the administration, Harris, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez have created, among other Democrats, folks, a complete freaking disaster in Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and California by encouraging illegals to come here and enter, and then they give them money. They don't test them for any diseases. Then they ship them around the country. Why? To what purpose? Is it about votes? Is it about, I don't know, being super spreaders? Is it about destabilizing areas that they don't politically agree with? Or is it punishment? Like punishing Florida by sending these illegally entered non-Americans giving them money and then shipping them into states like Florida. Obviously, they're getting into Texas. So we've got that situation, which is very important. And it shows the incompetence and the unwillingness to address a problem or even recognize that it's a problem. But then Gigi Biden, President Joe Biden, Vice President Kamala Camel-Toes Harris, Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, Chairman, Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Milli Vanilli, as Bonnie Blue points out, says she didn't say this, I'm going to say it. They fucked up Afghanistan. They pulled out, they cost American lives. They cost the lives of American citizens, American civilians, as well as those military members that were killed in that terror attack. Other Americans have been killed. They were abandoned, left on their own to be captured, jailed, tortured, beaten, enslaved, raped, and who knows what else, along with people from other countries, our other allies, who were abandoned, their military, their civilians. They abandoned our air base. They left $85 billion in aircraft, armament, equipment, et cetera, $85 billion worth in the hands of Taliban, a terror organization who was just handed the country of Afghanistan. Folks, would they hand American patriots, I don't know, the state of Texas, and say, just take it over. It's your state. We give up on it. It's yours. You guys. No, of course not. So after doing all that, Bonnie, you say, do we want to see them get more Americans killed defending Ukraine's border? Right. They won't. We will. The U.S. government in Washington, D.C. will not. Oh man, which direction is D.C. in? That direction, over that way. They won't defend our own border from an invasion by civilians and unknown terror combatants who show up and pretend to be illegals migrating here. But they want to defend the Ukrainian border against the potential incursion of Russians. How does this make a lick of sense? One border should be open, another border should be closed. Explain that to me, Democrats. And I'm not talking about Joe Biden. I'm not talking about Camel-Toes. I'm not talking about General Milli Vanilli. Democrats, not politicians, people in the states, everyday run-of-the-mill Democrats. Tell me why it's okay to defend the Ukraine border against the Russians, but not our own border. Why should our border be open, but theirs be closed? Why is their border sacrosanct? Why is their border holy ground that we have to defend it? What is so bad there, right? There are not Russians pouring across it, folks. No, there are not. There are not Russians trying to come across the border. They're on the Russian side of the border, but they're not trying to come across. So why do we need to be there? What's to gain? Well, you see, the standard Democrat can't answer that. Truth be known, those that are in power, like Biden, Milli Vanilli, other Democrats, big banks, big corporate interests, they want to financially enrich themselves over the Ukraine situation. That's why they're there, folks. The same reason we went into Afghanistan. You know, all of those opium poppies in Afghanistan. We were told the Taliban is using opium to fund their terror activities. As soon as the United States military took over, the opium production in Afghanistan grew exponentially. There's always an angle, is there not? There's always an angle that seems to enrich corporations and enrich our political class. So what's in Ukraine, Hunter Biden, who sat on their version of Exxon, folks, their version of Mobil, their version of Shell? It was called Burisma, right? Their version. And so Hunter Biden, who has no experience in the corporate world as an executive in the energy field is sitting on the board of Burisma when his daddy was vice president of the United States. Now his daddy is president. I think all of those chickens are coming home to roost. Fascinating, is it not? It's always about someone making money at the expense of others. It's always about somebody gaining power and control over the people at the expense of the people. I mean, Dr. Fauci is the highest paid federal employee ever, was the report that I read a couple of weeks ago. This guy has got his hands in everything medical, the world of pharmaceuticals. If it wasn't already in your face with their limitless advertisements for every drug known to man, right? They wanted more, and they got it. Someone that I love dearly brought this up to me and said, you know, John, when I watch the television for a pharmaceutical company, their advertisement comes on and says, this drug for asthma, example, asthma, is going to help you with your asthma, but here are the side effects, right? This, that, the other, headaches, nosebleeds, sleepiness, drowsiness, don't operate machinery, talk to your doctor if you start to get this or that problem, if your penis falls off, right? Stop taking this and reconsult your physician. In other words, they tell you what the medication is supposed to do, and then they warn you with all the side effects. So this dear loved one says to me, John, why isn't Jim Jones juice being advertised the same way? Why don't they say this is what it's supposed to do, but here are the potential side effects? Stroke, heart attack, aneurysm, brain bleed, muscle cramps, muscle spasms, neurological fucking breakdown, instantaneous death, clotting. Why don't they do that? Why don't they tell us what it's supposed to do? They don't tell us what it's supposed to do. It's just, this is what it is. Pow, Jim Jones juice. It's going to solve all your problems. Well, everything they said it was supposed to do, it doesn't. So the advertisement would say, if it was honest, this is what it's supposed to do, but it does none of those things. And by the way, you know, heart attack, myocarditis, pericarditis, brain bleed, aneurysm, stroke, high chance of fatality, neurological breakdown, you know, stroke, aneurysm, seizures. It's a great question. And I thought, wow, that's great. They, of all, you know, big pharmaceuticals making billions of dollars a year, monsters in the pseudo government corporate entangled world. They know how to advertise. They know that they have to talk about the potential side effects. But with this big one, with the Jim Jones juice, they don't. The reason is, folks, because people know enough that if it was actually put in their face at that level, the requirement all other drugs have to face, people would be like, are you fucking kidding me? We're going to risk that? Unbelievable, folks. It is unbelievable. And speaking of that, oh, get your super chat donations in. Speaking of that, I'll get right to Steve in a moment. Steve, hang on, brother. You know, speaking of, you know, people seeing it and knowing it, professional bicycle champion Kyle Warner checked in. Oh, by the way, he's also a victim of the Jim Jones juice. He says, quote, we were asked to do our part for our country and then cast aside in the name of profits. You bet, man. But they tried making it sound patriotic. Do it for the country. Do it for the president. Do it for Gigi Biden. Do it for grandma. Do it for your children. Do it for your job or else. Do it, do it, do it. It's your job. Just do it. Just take the damn juice, right? Just do it. It's just kept doing it. You know, take the damn Kool-Aid.
Hey folks, at the Prepared Mind channel, we take your health very seriously. That's why we recommend the Jim Jones juice. That's right, the Jim Jones juice. Get yourself a can today.
spacious, the friendly homes of America are always prepared for hospitality. Not only on Thanksgiving Day, but every day, all the year around, no matter who comes to call or who happens to drop in.
There's nothing like hitting the Jim Jones juice, laying one down, and feeling that stuff enter your bloodstream. Oh.
Did Bill leave his pop and candy only half eaten? No, sir.
Oh, heart attack. Defibrillator. Clot. Don't forget, call an ambulance when you get your Jim Jones juice, because it's that good. Oh.
Yep, do it for your country. There we are. All right, let's get to Steve, USMC, no tolerance. He has a super chat donation. He says, just letting you know I'm here with my paste and new antibodies. Still tired as shit, Semper Fi. Since Steve brought it up here, Steve ended up contracting the cerveza bug, and it kind of got him down. You bet, folks. And so he got the good stuff. That's right, folks. He took care of business and went in and got the good stuff. And he's doing great. Steve, brother, I'm glad you're back. I can't tell you all the things I know about Steve, except that he is a Marine, combat veteran, has served his country, right? Served his country, and he took care of himself. You've got to take care of yourself in this, folks. If your doctor won't, get another doctor. In fact, go to the preparedmind.club. We have doctors there. Right now, we've got the internet. It's incredible. We have the internet. What does the internet do for you? Well, the internet allows you to see a doctor, a real doctor, consult with them via the internet, and have them prescribe medication for you. And it works. I myself have done several prescriptions in the last couple of years with online doctors to get the medications that I need to get taken care of. And we have that at the preparedmind.club to make sure you have what you need, folks. And for my horsey, I do have horsey paste also. All right, we got Mr. Skylight checking in. Here's another one. Thank you, Mr. Skylight, for all you do behind the scenes. Mr. Skylight with a $20, $19.99 super chat donation. And here's his quote by Robert Louis Stevenson. He says, quote, don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant. So, salut, prost, thank you, Mr. Skylight. You make a terrific point. And let me explain it this way. Every day you and I come here and we plant the seeds of thought in people's head. Wake up, get prepared, take action on your own behalf. Make sure you have horse paste for your horsies, right? But don't expect that that is going to produce your harvest every day. So don't look and go, where is everybody that should be thanking me for helping them out, right? Don't judge each day by the harvest. Now, day to day, time to time, I get thank yous, and I love it. It means that, yeah, that's the harvest, the thank yous. Okay, cool. The message is getting out. But, right, judge each day by the seeds that you plant. So I may plant 1,000 seeds in a day and get 1 or 2 plants that produce fruit, right? Good results. I'll take that. So I don't judge each day by the number of people that say, hey, I woke up, took the red pill, saw the light, realized what's going on, got prepared, right? No, that's not how I judge my day. I judge my day by, I got up, I did my job, I reached out, I asked you guys to reach out, right? We're waking up, we're all educating ourselves, we're learning, we're prepping, we're preparing mentally, we're covering current events, and we're helping others. That's how I judge my days. I made it to this day. I planted seeds, the seed of thought with others to help wake them up so that they can save themselves, right? All I can do is plant the seed, right? The seed's responsible for everything else it does, right? There we go. So thank you again, Mr. Skylight. You rock. Let us move on if we shall, folks. Unbelievable. We got Alan Griffiths back again with another $10 super chat donation. And he says, South Australia. Oh, he's in Australia, not in Austria or Argentina or any other A country. He says South Australia. And folks, man, dude, we have a lot of brothers and sisters, folks, all of us down in Australia that are suffering because they have, I mean, you want to talk about being taken hostage and being subjected to Stockholm Syndrome down there. There's so many Australians that have just drank the Kool-Aid so much. They're just doing all they can to support a government. And the rest of us in the world are looking at Australia going, what the hell are you thinking? Anyways, back to Alan Griffiths. Oh, wait a minute. Alan Griffiths, who bought and had me ship some shirts down to Australia? That's right, folks. We did ship not only over to Europe, but also down to Australia, some of the fuck around and find out shirts. The name just, pow, the dime dropped. Anyway, he says South Australia, because I remember seeing the address, South Australia. Send some shirts that way. Incredible. Anyways, so there's people running around in Australia with fuck around and find out Prepared Mind shirts. So he says this, sorry for the post cost. Oh, no worry, man, no worry. In fact, oh, now I know what you're saying. Post cost, postage, don't worry about it. He says, bought 2 vaccination shirts. Awesome. The vaccination shirts, folks, are being marketed through YouTube and our other shirts. Jolene, by the way, was responsible for designing that shirt along with, I believe, Mr. T. So the vaccination shirt's great. Love it. He says, bought 2 of those using my U.S. posting service. Thanks again. Thank you, Alan. Folks, one of the best ways I found to talk to people is with memes. Someone very close to me that I love dearly uses memes also. I think we all use memes. Like at the R Syndicate, we use memes to communicate with each other. With my friends back in California, at the RMZ, all around the world, we use you send a meme, right? It's a picture of a situation with an explanation that makes the point, often with humor. Other times, a meme just communicates a message, right, of joy, hope, sadness. It's incredible. The T-shirts also communicate the point, whether it's the vaccination shirt or the fuck around and find out shirt or the Prepared Mind, just regular club shirt. We have one that I love to wear out in public is I'm pro-choice too. And it shows a very large selection of guns that I prefer. And so it makes the point. It's a meme. It gets the point. You know, it speaks. Some people like the sound. They like words. Other people like pictures. Other people communicate with body language, right? It's interesting. Some people use a combination of ways to communicate. I try and use every way possible to communicate. It's incredible that when you can communicate, how often it is seen or heard, understood by people who would otherwise not get it. And it may take a while to sink in. Again, it's not about the harvest, and thank you again, Mr. Skylight. It's about how many seeds of thought have you put out there. When I wear the fuck around and find out shirt in public or the vaccination shirt out in public, some people comment Some people give me the stink eye. Other people don't say anything. They just like, what's that about? But the symbology of the meme, the message that it says, I care about you, or you're an idiot, or, think about this. It's powerful, folks. The old saying, a picture, speaks 1,000 words. I never thought that to be as true as it is, except in today's environment where we're censored and silenced so much, but we're still allowed to communicate in ways that they can't stop. We got Rick O'Connell checking in with a 556 super chat donation. He says, Russia on the move with Brandon's numbers falling and his administration control slipping. Is he going to drag the U.S. into World War III with Russia? Semper Fi. Well, Semper Fi to you, Rick. And this is, folks, let's just say that's the $1 million question. It's a $1 million question. The Let's Go Brandon administration is fucking failing politically. I caught something today. The news headline was, independent voters give Biden zero support. They polled independents and asked them, do you support what Biden's doing? And none of them said yes. The only people supporting Biden are hardline, forever Trumper, hate Trump, anti-freedom, only the hardest of hardcore Democrats supports Biden. That's like 30% of them, or 30% of the country. Anyone who is moderate or independent don't necessarily support the guy. He's failing politically. His policies are failing and pissing everyone off. Imagine this, folks. Imagine if your town was being overrun with scum from across the border. Not good people, folks, who have come to America with green cards and visas to go to work, but the scum who pour across the border illegally, taking free money, buying up our resources, right? People are affected by that, whether they're Democrat or Republican. Imagine if you were ill, you had a life-threatening emergency, and you went to the ER and you couldn't get in to see a doctor, or your child couldn't, because there were a bunch of illegals there sucking up the free health care that they were promised when they were allowed across the border. Do you think that impresses Democrats? Makes them happy? No. That's why Bill Mayer is objecting to what's going on with Cerveza-Bug. He's like, look, we're done. Right? He's done with it. He says, I'm over it. What the fuck is the use of boosters, right? Everything that they're doing, their Cerveza-Bug program, their mandates, they're screwing with the trucking system. They're screwing with food production. They're screwing with the ports. They're trying to overhaul and completely communize the election system. Let me give you another taste. Folks, we're at 90 minutes in. If you've got something to say, say it. We're 90 minutes in. And R.L. Burgess does check in, and he's become a new member at YouTube. You can become a YouTube member. Terrific. Bam. Thank you for your support. You can become a Patreon member. And if you become a Patreon member for $2 a month over on patreon.com, you can join Monday through Friday and do live Q&A. And you get a lot of links that I can't put up on YouTube. That's why I think that the Patreon link, the Patreon membership, is the best one to have. I appreciate and value all of our members. But Patreon allows me to slip you information about medical thoughts that no one else will let me do. It is incredible, folks. All right. We've got Blood or Water. He's back again with another $5 super chat. He says, it's year 2 of the beginning of time, and people are jumping off cliffs and other people are joining without parachutes and bungees. Oh, that's a great thought. Yeah. We're 2 years into this and people are still running to the cliff and jumping off. They have no idea what they're jumping into, folks. By jumping into, I'm talking about socialism, communism. They're just like, yeah, support this idea. Davos, the World Economic Forum, the Illuminati, people are just running to support that shit, jumping right off that cliff. Hey, don't forget your medicine. Oh yeah, thanks. And then they jump off. Now, you mentioned the word bungee, which I think is fascinating. You know how bungee cords work. You jump and it holds you and then springs you back up. There are some people who have the benefit of the bungee. They like do a little bit of this. They see where they're heading to the rocks at the bottom of the cliff. And they're like, good thing I tied a bungee, and they're pulling themselves back up. God bless them for waking up. Unbelievable. It's year 2, folks, and people are still running to jump off the cliff. Unbelievable. Thank you, Blood or Water. Now, folks, Blue Cord Devil is here. All right. Checks in with a 762 super chat donation. One of my favorite numbers, 762. He says, wore my shirt yesterday at the mandate rally in Olympia, Washington. A lot of good comments. Peace and prayers, John. That's incredible, folks. Olympia, Washington, having protests against Lord Inslee, the governor there who thinks he is the Lord, thinks he's God. Locking down the state, mandating women, children, everybody, get your Jim Jones juice. I'm glad you wore it. I'm glad you got a lot of good comments. It's good, folks. Sometimes it's good to preach to the choir. Sometimes it's good to preach to the choir. The reason being is the choir needs to know, right, that they're doing good. You guys are the choir. You're doing fucking awesome. Keep doing it. Right. And I do like that advice. Thank you again, Mr. Skylight. Don't look at what you are harvesting. Judge your day by how many good words, the seeds you put out there. Seeds of good thought. And Yankee Watchdog with a $5 super chat donation says, yes, more shirts. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'll do another batch of 48 shirts. I'm going to come up with a design. I'll come up with a design and I'll show it to you guys. And it's probably going to be the same thing. I'll probably do more of the dry fit sport cut shirts. It seemed to work out pretty good doing large and extra large and 4 colors. It's a great shirt, feels great, wears great. And really either people love it or they fucking hate you for it. So I'll do that, and we'll do another 48. I don't like demanding that people, box them up and ship them out. But it was fun. It really was fun. I actually put some messages and autographed the boxes, and then Uman delivered the boxes back down to where they were shipped from. It was great. All right, we got Deplorable Daughter, Rutro. Deplorable Daughter checking in with a $20, a $19.99 super chat donation. Thank you, Deplorable Daughter. Let's see what she has to say. What do you think will happen to the pharmaceutical companies when the people who were coerced, great word, they were coerced into taking the Jim Jones juice when they learned that the courts decided that mandating the juice was illegal and unconstitutional the whole time? The pharmaceutical companies, folks, they, I'm sure, did all they could to get the government to give them immunity. That has a lot to do with signing off and saying, yeah, I recognize that it's an experimental medication, right? I hold harmless. Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson, et cetera, yada, yada. Right? Pharmaceutical companies will probably wet their beds, donate a bunch of money to worthy causes, make it look like and sound like they're sorry. But when this all shakes out, I would like to see the people take personal, dramatic action on their own behalf and get some satisfaction. I can't, folks, I am not inciting violence or encouraging harmful or dangerous behavior. No, sir, not doing it. Wouldn't be prudent. But I would like to see the people exact some proper lawful vengeance on these companies and the authorities that have pushed this, because it is coercion. It is a violation of the of law. It's a violation of federal law. It's a violation of state law. It is a form of fraud to use coercion and duress to cause people to do something that otherwise they wouldn't have to. It is also a violation of Nuremberg Code, which was developed after watching the Nazis use coercion and duress to force people to participate in dangerous and harmful activities. It's fucking terrible. I think the pharmaceutical companies have demonstrated that they are not trustworthy, in my opinion. It would be nice to see them sued, but you know, there are so many life-saving drugs, health-improving drugs out there. We need those, but the idea that this particular drug was needed, that the Jim Jones juice was needed, is it's a phenomenal catastrophe. And the fact that President Trump pumped it speaks to either his ignorance or the fact that people lied to him, and the fact that it's turned out to be an incredible fiasco, harming and killing countless people. And in fact, I've got this story for you. Again, it's heart-wrenching, folks. Enough is finally enough in not America, but in Brazil. The administration giving children Jim Jones juice in Brazil has been suspended now, finally, because a 10-year-old girl there has now suffered cardiac arrest just hours after getting her Jim Jones juice. They've suspended it in Brazil for children, folks. How many Brazilians have I covered in the last couple of weeks? Right? A Brazilian model, a Brazilian teenager, now a Brazilian 10-year-old. How many people have to die or suffer unnecessarily? It is unbelievable, folks. Enough is enough. And these companies know it. In fact, there has been on the quiet side, or rather the dark side of the news, stuff that we carry on Patreon, folks. That pharmaceutical companies knew that their products were dangerous, that they continued to say they weren't, that they hid documentation proving that what they were doing was wrong. It's incredible, folks. It is absolutely incredible how badly the world has been deceived, how egregiously people have been hurt. Unbelievable. All right, we got doing stuff with Nikki. Nikki is an incredibly funny and just an immensely good-hearted person. She checks in with a $50 super chat donation. Says, love you and miss you. Sorry I haven't been in a lot of Sunday Night Lives lately. Side note, we'll all be on walkers before Uman finishes that darn car behind you. That would be the El Camino of love here in the shop. Very true, Nikki. If you all remember when a few weeks ago we had when we got the shirts, I had Nikki, Uman, and Chris P. Bacon checking in. Folks, check out Clearwater Chris's channel to see what he's up to. Chris P. Bacon is awesome. And she said, She said, this is why they make whips. XOXO. Hugs and kisses from Nikki. Thank you, Nikki. You're awesome. You and Uman are great. Crispy Bacon is the man. I know you've been busy, Nikki. Folks, we've all been busy. In fact, another Prepared Mind supporter and provider of information and content let me know that they are now leaving California. The Jim Jones juice, folks. Either you get it or you get fired. States like California, we're going to double your taxes in order to pay for the medical care of people coming to the state unlawfully. People are fleeing California. Now, I got out there in July 11th of 2020. I got out of California. That's when I went to the RMZ. That's when, Jim, Roger, and I just got the hell out of there. Wow. There are so many good places, folks. And California is a good place. It's a great place. The problem there is the fucking idiot people, the socialists and communists. People like Gavin Newsom, who's doing all he can to destroy California. Mayors like Beetlejuice Lightfoot, governors like his lairdship, Inslee, or Governor Brown, or Governor Dingleberry up in New York State, who has signed legislation allowing mail-in voting. You know, the new mayor of New York City is a complete bumbling idiot. They have no idea what they're doing, folks. Or if they did, they're doing exactly what's required to ruin everything. Thankfully, I know Nikki is in a good place. She's in a good, safe place. Ooh, man, right here, we're in a good, safe place. Awesome stuff. Get to a good place, folks, whether it's up north or down south, east or west. And thank you for all that you do for us here at The Prepared Mind, helping spread the seeds of information. And folks, when shit hits the fan, if it goes Mad Max, you're going to spread those freedom seeds. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. William C. checks in with a $5 super chat donation. He says, I worked for several corporations. They were always top-down policy. The CEOs were not in the trenches. Most went bankrupt. The United States of America is run by corporations with the same mindset. Good golly, Miss Molly, you're absolutely correct. The corporations that I know, small businesses, folks, like Uman here, Q down in the South, down in Florida, companies like Vaughn, who run construction companies. When you start with your own company and you're doing the work, you're in the trenches, you know what's needed, you know the mindset at that level. As you grow and get bigger and become, go from owner operator to sole proprietorship to a corporation with partners and investors and then employees, that person understands their business from the very bottom up to the top, and how contracts are made and negotiations, and then understanding marketing, developing the business and growing it. When you're at all those levels, you can see it and you understand it. What William's talking about here is brilliant. In addition to his comment the other day that we are in SHTF medium, which we still don't have a great term for. Somebody come up with a term to describe the difference, somewhere between SHTF light and Mad Max. There's got to be a better way to say it than SHTF medium. Anyways, William says, right, the corporations that he worked for that had CEOs, that is the executive management that made decisions, that had no idea what was going on in the trenches, either out in sales, out in marketing, or in the manufacturing of the product, the mining or procurement of raw materials, they drive those companies out of business. Here we are in the United States of America with major corporations like Microsoft, Apple, Netflix, Caterpillar, General Electric, Ford, General Motors, General Mills, Smithfields? Do these CEOs, CFOs, COOs, do they know a damn thing about anything? Or did they get a fancy degree at a college and then have their daddy or mommy place them in a position of power and authority based on who they were, not their understanding of their job? And yes, here we are in the United States of America. We're operating in a fascist system that is corporations working hand in hand with government, making top-down decisions, and these people have no idea what the hell they're doing. Consequently, everything's being destroyed. Wow. Here you go, man. Thank you, brother. That was delicious. We've got Red Pill Files checking in with a 556 super chat donation. He says, "Hi, John. The Czechoslovakian, or I'm sorry, it's not Czechoslovakia anymore. It is the Czech Republic." He says, "The Czech Prime Minister ends the Jim Jones juice and other mandates. The United Kingdom and Ireland too. Ending them. What is next?" It's a great question, Red. Will they really end them permanently? Is this a trick by Boris Johnson to take the political heat off of himself and then later cancel it, or say, we're not going to do what I said we would do? Well, like I said, Ireland and Czechoslovakia said no way. There are other countries that don't get a lot of press attention, that have little or no mandates, masks, lockdowns, or restrictions. States like Texas, Florida. When I call and talk to people, folks, in states that have no mandates, no lockdowns, no masks, no regulations or restrictions, you know what answer I get? Dude, everything's fine here. Everyone is fine. Yeah, there are people in hospitals. That's why they have hospitals. They've always needed hospitals. Hospitals have people in them. Is there a problem? No. The only real problem with hospitals, John, is the fact that we don't have as many doctors or nurses because they were scared away or fired. Now they're trying to hire them back because they've lifted the restrictions. Except now dumbass Biden and the Supreme Court of the United States, the SCROTUS, they've decided that the government can tell healthcare workers that they have to follow any mandate set forth by that hospital, which can be mandated by the federal government. So do the conversations go exactly like that? No, we talk about where I'm at, where they're at, what they're doing, how their dog, cat, mother, sister, wife, daughter, kids, sons, whatever is, what's their favorite. I have those parts of the conversation too, but it comes down to those. They recite and reiterate the facts that they understand, that this is a giant fucking sham. Unbelievable. Thank you, Red Pill Files. What's next? They're either going to lock us down harder or they're going to have to let go and go, pfft. But the damage is done. The damage is done, folks. Listen to Dr. Malone. Listen to McCulloch. Listen to these physicians out here who are saying the damage is done. Made some serious, serious mistakes. All right, we got Boru checking in with another $20 super chat donation. He says, "Hey, about 30 years ago, I was in the corporate world selling out the real estate bubble. I was always in trouble. HR this and that, human resources, this and that. I left and I went lumberjacking. Now they are trying to send me back to HR Mullen Labe." That's incredible, Boru. My family, going back into the 1800s, my direct ancestors, every family tree bifurcates and splits, and there's all kinds of family members that were judges or boxers, lawyers and furniture makers. But my direct sires, after leaving the cattle industry, went into lumber. A lot of them, my great-grandfather and then my great-uncle and then my father were timber fallers and choke setters. And so I know the industry. Come see, come saw, right? Anyways, yeah, it's interesting how what you speak of, HR, human resources. Hey, Boru, are you a resource? Like, I don't know, a fucking rock or a tree or a fish? a food resource, a mineral resource. I am not a resource. I don't like human resources. Right? In other words, it used to be called, folks, when I was a kid, it was called the personnel department, where they handled matters dealing with the employees, the personnel. Then they changed this into a fucking resource. Unbelievable. Insulting to call me a resource. To be used, folks, resources can be disposed of, converted. Resources can be sold for profit. Unbelievable. The human resource, yeah. See, you used to, like, it started with personnel department, then it went to human resources, then we got political correctness. Then we got you can't be a bully. Now it's you can be a bully, but only if you bully people that aren't part of the woke crowd. And so people, folks, this year, last year, 10 years ago, in the 90s, left corporations because of this human resource being treated like a frickin' number and an asset that the company could dispose of as it saw fit. And so Boru heads back out into the woods where the men are men and the sheep are nervous. Anyways, the men are men. The sheep thing, that's a joke. Anyways, where the men are men. And now, right, lumber companies, little companies work for bigger companies, work for global companies in the lumber resource sector. Whether you're dropping the trees, hauling them, milling them, selling them to lumber corporations, or assembling them into things called houses. HR and the corporate mentality has infected everything. There's a very negative consequence to all of this. Get prepared, folks. The system is taking a shit. All right, we got EB checking in with a $20 super chat donation. He says, we have a mandate here. I was at the hardware store without a mask today. Others without masks were eyeing me as if to say, I'm on your side, partner. It's a reassuring feeling, but kind of sad we're all in this position. Oh, it's quite fascinating and quite interesting. I remember when I was at the RMZ. Completely different jurisdiction, different set of rules, different mentality. The people there were leave me the fuck alone types. The government there was, we're going to tell you stupid people what to think. And so the mask thing was a requirement, but people didn't like it, so they wouldn't. And so people that didn't would look around like, yeah, you're the man, right? And so you got confirmation bias that you're doing the right thing. But people with masks would give you the stink eye and treat you like shit. Right? And I used to go up to people who wore masks and I'd say, take your mask off so I can see what your face looks like. Because I want to remember who you are when we finally are all told we can be without masks. Right? How the fuck am I going to recognize you, looking at you like this? And so it was incredible, folks. It is kind of pathetic that people are having to look around for reassurance. I'm not making fun of you, EB. I'm not making fun of myself or anyone else, but it's pathetic that we're left with that because government, we have entrusted so much power and authority with them to say, make the right decisions. We trust you. And this is how our trust has been betrayed by powerful government. It shits on us. It lies to us. It mandates to us. It violates our rights. It gets in our face. It empowers idiots to tell us what to do. And it empowers other idiots to arrest us. It empowers other idiots to prosecute us. It allows corporations to fire us. It takes your dignity. It takes your rights, your freedoms, your life away from you. So damn, I'm glad that you got to wear no mask and told others by not wearing it, this is the right way to be. I am choosing freedom. But they're not giving up. They're not giving up yet, folks. We're not giving up yet. And they're not giving up. We've got a lot more to go. And whether or not we continue to wear masks, and whether or not we continue to fight this booster nonsense, the booster juicer, understand the damage has been done. Shit has hit the fan. Things are going to get worse. What do you think happens, folks, as people continue to get sick and have heart attacks and strokes and blood clots and fall over sick and have weaker and weaker immune systems? They're going to continue to look at us and call you and me super spreaders. They're like, hey, that was last year's news. Where the fuck are you? You know, why aren't you paying attention? Who are you? You don't get to talk to me that way. There's going to become some serious hatred. What if this whole zombie thing comes to pass? Look out. I'm telling you, look the fuck out. This is not going to end well at all. Okay, we got Tamika Gomina checking in with a $5 super chat donation. Thank you again, Tamika. And she says this: the willful ignorance is scary. Just that sentence alone, right? Mic drop. Pow, I'm out of here. The willful ignorance is scary. You just summed up the last 2 years. The willful ignorance is scary. The shelves have been thinning for almost 2 years. Prices have been going up as long. Situational awareness is key. Thank you so much for sharing that. Brevity is the soul of wit. That was just wonderfully said, folks. You and I, if we are ignorant of something, it's because we haven't been allowed to say it or see it or hear it. If you and I are ignorant, it's because that information has been blocked, shielded, and censored. It has been withheld. Otherwise, we keep ourselves informed, you and I. But what she's talking about is the willful ignorance. There are people out there demanding you get the Jim Jones juice, demanding you worship Democrats, demanding you give up your rights, demanding that you deny your own heritage, your own goodness, and condemn yourself for whatever race it is you happen to have. Right? Those people out there are willfully ignorant. There are people who are intentionally disregarding fact, disregarding truth, failing intentionally to use their brain because they want to believe someone else's lie. That, my friends, is willful ignorance. And it's scary as fuck. The reason it's scary is because these people that are doing that are not listening to the truth, that aren't looking at facts, or they're taking bribes, payouts, handouts, or they're just corrupt, ass-kissing, boot-licking political peons. They're also governors, mayors, elected representatives, police, judges, prosecutors, leaders within businesses, leaders within community. But they're not really leaders, they're followers, and they're willfully ignorant. They're believing lies willfully, and it's incredible and unbelievable. I'm going to give you a taste of that. Thank you, Tamika. That was great. There's a judge in D.C. The D.C. judge has now ordered notable January 6 political prisoners, right, to be hauled out of their cells and sent to the D.C. gulag, right? Folks, the denial of due process, respect for and consistent application of court etiquette, procedure, and rulings is 100% evidence that this D.C. court is joined to the political persecution process and is in clear violation of constitutional rights and protections. You think these judges don't really understand what they're doing? They do, and they're doing it intentionally. Right? Furthermore, the decisions and denials by the D.C. judge over all the petitions for bail demonstrates that justice is not available. This is what is coming to all Americans, folks, via the socialist, globalist, Democrat government. In time, anyone can and will be arrested, fake evidence created, and perpetual prosecution will occur. That's what Tamika was just saying. Willful ignorance is scary. These judges, these prosecutors, whether it's the January 6th case or others like in St. Louis, when the McClotskys, the cul-de-sac commandos were prosecuted for basically saying, I have a gun, do not burn my house down. Willful ignorance is scary because there are those who are willfully ignorant and they are powerful, right? Will you allow yourself to be arrested and believe that you're going to get your day in court? I think you would have to be willfully ignorant to believe that you'll have your day in court, right? If, it's incredible, folks. Evil judges, prosecutors, and lawyers, they need the gallows as much as bad politicians, bad cops, and other criminals, thugs, drug dealers, human traffickers, pimps, prostitutes, murderers, etc., right? Hey, folks, we keep getting proven right again and again that being a prepper and being well-informed is the way to be. Unbelievable. Bernard Shreve checks in with a $5 super chat donation. Thank you, Bernard. He says, hello, John. The world is so broken. I got a sewing machine and all the accessories to fix and or make my clothes. Oh, my gosh. You would think that if someone knew how to use a sewing machine today, they would be considered like some sort of sewing unicorn. They're unbelievably hard to find. Yeah, the world is totally broken. Totally broken. I got a pair of shorts that, part of the inseam ripped out, and I'm like, well, I guess I better go buy some needle and thread. And look out. Folks, we need to take care of ourselves. Food, water, shelter, clothing. That's right. Clothing is a big part of being prepared. It just is. And as things continue to ratchet down and shit gets worse, clothing is going to be more expensive because of inflation. That is the failure of the dollar to retain its purchasing power. Number 2, supply. It's going to be harder to get items. And as people have less money to spend, less disposable income, things become more expensive because of inflation. Durable goods, quality goods, goods that people need, like clothing, will become more important and harder to get and more expensive. So learn to repair them, folks. I think it's a good idea, Bernard, to have at least a sewing repair kit, needle and thread. And I also recommend a product called Lexel, Lexel, comes in clear. It is a flexible, adhesive, paintable caulk, and I use it as glue. I use it on clothing. I've used it on in construction, not only as caulking around showers and tubs, but to hold things together. It's an incredible adhesive. You can glue a toilet down to the floor so it doesn't rock. You ever get on a toilet, you sit down and it like rocks, and you're like, this is not going to be fun. Right? You want your toilet to, that's business when you're on the toilet, right? Anyways, the product again is Lexel. I've used it to repair and glue pockets back onto jeans and repair other clothing tears. Just an idea. Anyways, let's move on. We got Miss Marilyn checking in with a $20 super chat donation. Says, tuning in kind of late, but will there be any women's shirts made available? Some ladies can't wear unisex ones. Okay, Miss Marilyn. Ruh-roh. I do know that there are women's cuts on many shirts. I tell you what. Tell Jolene, your ladies out there, tell Jolene your sizes in women's sizes. Small, medium, large, extra large. I don't know what size. I mean, women have numbers like, they got numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They got sizes. Men get large or extra large, or small, or medium, or 4X. Women have like numbers, and women's clothing is incredibly difficult to understand. I don't know how you girls do it, but put in some sizes, and we'll see if we can hit some ballpark. And maybe on the next shirt we do, limited edition, I'll do like 10 women's shirts. Okay, but let's get some more ideas about how we want to go with that. I'll work with Jolene. I'll work with Uman. I'll work with Bonnie Blue and Penelope and some others, and we'll figure out what to do. I hope I didn't leave anyone out, Christine or Darcy or Heidi, I know that we got a huge audience, vast. I want to try and make everyone happy, but folks, we really can't. You know, shirts, yes. The world, no. We can't make everyone happy. All we can do is the best we can do. And I want to thank everybody, again, bottom of my heart. You're at the top of my A-list for supporting this channel through Patreon, through PayPal, through YouTube, and by sharing these videos with others. I want to thank you all for doing that. I want to thank you all. You know who you are out there, those who have helped, those that get to communicate with one another. You're taking those great steps. Again, as Mr. Skylight passed on, you know, don't judge the quality of your work by the harvest you get, but by the number of seeds you plant. I just think that's absolutely fabulous. And also remember, right, the willful ignorant are scary. Thank you again for all you do. We've come to the end of this Sunday Night Live. Bonnie Blue checks in with another super chat donation, $4.99, and she writes this: drawing attention to Music of the Resistance, hashtag Silent War by 5 Times August, played today on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial at hashtag Defeat the Mandate DC. Thank you for bringing this up, folks. In addition to memes, quotes, pictures, cartoons, humor to communicate, music is another great way to communicate messages. It just is. Music speaks to people. It speaks to a different part of the brain, and it's wonderful. I have people that send me songs that mean a lot to them, and they mean a lot to me as well because of that. It's a great way to communicate. So keep it up, folks. Chance favors the prepared mind, not the willfully ignorant. Chance doesn't favor the willfully ignorant. Chance favors the prepared mind. Semper Fi to you all. I love you all. Godspeed. This week is going to be a frickin' wreck. Biden is failing. Faucet is failing. Problems are going to be created. Problems are going to be exacerbated. Shit is going to hit the fan, and there's going to be more distractions and actions coming up. Folks, understand this. Here's my parting story. The real puppet, Russia, Russia, Russia. Remember how they said that was Trump? Russia, Russia, Russia. Russian collusion, Russian collusion, Russian collusion. The real apparent puppet of Russia is not Trump, but rather it is Xi Biden. Folks, Russia is the #1 U.S. enemy, right? Trump was called the Russian asset, a Russian puppet, a Russian conspirator, and he was investigated for years, right? They were trying to find that Russian collusion and claim that a crime or treason was committed. Folks, Biden blamed Russia for many incidents that have happened, right? Cyber attacks, activities around the world. He's threatened Russia with war over Ukraine, right? So Russia is bad, right? Russia bad? Russia bad? Bad, bad, bad. Russia, Russia, Russia. The U.S.'s main enemy, Russia, Russia, Russia. So Biden, through his son Hunter, worked with Russia, right? Remember, he took a bribe from the mayor of Moscow's wife. And then he sat on the sat on the board for an energy company in Ukraine, Burisma. So he's worked within the oil and gas industry of Ukraine, dealing with Russia and everything else. He was appointed by Daddy, old Hunter Biden was. Now Daddy Biden is the president, right? And what did he do? First day in office, he shut down the massive Canadian, already approved, under construction, Keystone Pipeline to make America and Canada pro-OPEC independent, right? So why? Well, what does the news say now, folks? The U.S., the United States of America, us, is importing more oil from Russia than ever before. Importing oil from Russia, our enemy, importing oil from Russia. The Biden administration, the Biden economy, the Biden government, the Biden energy plan is to buy oil from Russia. It's an all-time high. I guess the big guy likes his 10%, doesn't he? Makes you wonder. But should we really wonder? Chance favors the prepared mind. Get prepared. Semper Fi. Godspeed. I'll see you all bright and early. You guys be cool, and thank you again for supporting the Prepared Mind channel. Right? I want to make this the place where people come to get news that you can't get anywhere else. And you guys are making it happen. Thank you very much.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.